This is the beta test of the My Block podcast. We've got a bunch of things that we want to share with you. Basically, we're going to talk to you about everything that's happening in and around town, some topics that we've discussed. I'm here with Amy Herron.
Hello.
We are agents of the Riley Smith Group, Berkshire Hathaway, EWM Realty. This is our office. This is just a conversation amongst colleagues, trying to maybe educate you, talk about some deep passions, things that are interesting us in our neighborhood, and we hope you guys have fun. Again, this is a beta test. So happy Coconut Grove Arts Festival week to you, Amy.
Woo! I'm so excited.
High five, we're back.
Back in it.
At full capacity. So props to Monty Trainer and his crew and the Grove Business Development. We're looking forward to what's sure to be a hot and wet President's Day weekend.
Without
you can
doubt.
always count on that for Coconut Grove Arts Festival.
Can't have one without rain or intense heat. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to seeing you guys out there.
This is Gary.
This is Gary,
He's
everybody.
the third member of this podcast beta test.
Yes.
So, what's up, Gary?
Thanks, Gary, for making an appearance.
Yep.
All right, I want to jump right into it with some real estate stuff. We're going to try to make this as fun as possible. Real estate can be very boring, so we try to give you our information in digestible pieces.
As we are not boring.
Correct. So to talk a little bit about the real estate market, the overall narrative, and I'll give you a chance to answer this question.
Okay.
When you talk to a real estate agent, what's the first thing they want to talk about?
How there's no inventory.
Correct. It's an ongoing conversation. It doesn't stop.
Right.
I'm tired of it.
Right. Yeah, it's exhausting. It really is exhausting. I mean, I hear myself saying that a lot too, so I'm actually just as exhausted of myself as I am with other agents. I get it. Except for the fact that there is something going on. There's really something going on right now that's frustrating me even more than that conversation, which is the reason there's no inventory and the reason I want to back it up because you know what you didn't say?
The home sold.
Yep.
So the overall narrative that's driving me crazy, and I'm sure you can, if I were to ask you what is the one thing that every single agent is talking to you about when you get into conversation with them, what is it?
Koki, there's no inventory.
There's no inventory. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
I am leading the initiative to get rid of that narrative.
Okay.
If we sold more homes last year than we ever have,
Yep.
and we're predicted to sell more homes this year than we did last year, how could we really have an inventory problem?
Well, in my opinion, there is a game going on behind the scenes. And most of the top agents in some of these neighborhoods are, rather than actually getting new listings and putting them on the market, they are building an inventory of what we call pocket listings, which I'm sure everybody's heard of a pocket listing. You're actually not technically supposed to have any pocket listings. It's actually not really legal for a real estate agent to have one.
It's like everyone forgot about that law. We're just going to go ahead and everyone.
Nope, doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. So the market is actually sustaining itself off of pocket listings right now. So if you ask any top agent, let's say a top agent in Coconut Grove who has sold lots of homes in the past, 9 times out of 10, they have plenty of inventory that they're working with. They're picking and choosing what agents they want to work with behind the scenes because they're calling previous clients saying, hey guys, what's the absolute craziest price you would sell your house for? Boom, I got a listing in my pocket. He's calling everybody he knows trying to get an inflated price for that house.
Yeah, but I do think that the best way to get the best price for your house, in my opinion, is to be in a multiple listing service where multiple people can bid on one property. Sure, you'll pay a premium under the table, but you might be missing on someone who pay even more than that.
I could not agree more with you.
So that drives me a little bit crazy. I also think that's even more important why you should be working with an agent who knows the neighborhood. Because you need to know the players in town because you might not have a chance at some of this off-market stuff. What's really hitting the market is the stuff that's passed over from off-market.
Yeah, it's really sad.
So
yeah.
So that's kind of like a gist of the market. Things are selling. I want to talk about a splashy sale. One of our listings, Anthony Loria, congratulations to him. He sold a house on Edgewater Drive, one of the last remaining parcels of land there next to Ingram Park, to J.P. Perez, who is the president of the related group.
That's right.
Columbus graduate, adelante. Splashy sale for sure. Anthony listed it for 8.1 in December, and it sold for 8.8, $700,000 over ask.
Yep.
It did hit the market, several offers.
Yep.
We heard the city was trying to make a play for that land. They were going to add on to Ingram Park, which would have been really cool for that neighborhood. I myself live on Edgewater Drive, so I'm very familiar with the property. I think JP did well. I think $150 a foot for waterfront land is fine.
I agree.
I don't know if I had the money that would be, if I had his resources, I might have looked somewhere else.
Yeah, I have some questions. I've got some questions about this particular sale. I thought it was a great listing. I thought the sale price was very impressive. I thought the time on the market was baller. I mean, like it was.
It only took so long because the property was tied up with a trust.
Exactly. And behind the scenes, I heard that like the offers that were coming in were it was exciting. This was an exciting deal. However, if you saw this property, you'd be like, what is happening, man? It sits in this weird spot in Coral Gables. It's like, if you know where Cocoa Plum Circle is, it's like literally like jutted right up against it.
Right next to the pedestrian bridge. It's so exposed to the street. I mean, he's gonna have to do some serious landscape architecture there.
For real.
Because it's a little bit too exposed for a guy of this caliber.
But I know we're calling it waterfront, but is it? There's mangroves and it's way up on a.
You can't see the water from the top of the property.
Can you put a dock there? Yeah. I don't know. A lot of questions I have about this one, but
he's definitely got the chops to make this a spectacular property. I thought maybe he could have done better, but hey, you know what? Congrats to Anthony. Congrats to JP. That's a good sale.
Yep.
We're gonna jump right into a splashy listing.
Ooh, this one is so good.
Adrienne Arsh is putting her home on the market for $150 million. Bargain. Amy, go.
I put an offer in, just so you know.
Speaking of offers, the funny thing is, this house, if sold for half of what they're asking, would break the record for the highest sale in Miami-Dade County. So could you imagine if you're working with a buyer and says, hey, could I lowball an $80 million offer? And you'd still break the record for the highest sale, for crying out loud.
Such a deal, really.
I mean, my problem with this property, I know it's a trophy property. There's no ego involved because she's intending to donate all this money to charity, which is great. She's very philanthropic. Mm-hmm. She's really done a major thing for the Miami art scene. And then Ashley Cusack, the listing agent from Berkshire Hathaway EWM, is as good as they get. So I think they're managing the listing correctly. I think it's an inflated number because I can't park a boat there, and the home has a National Historic building on it.
Yep.
A house Via Serena that was built in 1913, and it cannot be knocked down. That, to me, kills some of the property value.
I hear what you're saying. I think there's opportunity there for sure. I liken it to something like on Fisher Island with the Vanderbilt Mansion, where that's kind of been like repurposed, and it still can be like an event space and something where the public can enjoy it. However, you can still have a property on there that can be inhabited and rehabbed and whatever. So, I mean, but still, for $150 million, it's kind of a big price tag.
Yeah, it's a lot for me, but
I mean, it's huge, though.
But it's cool. Could you imagine the conundrum if Ashley gets her own buyer trying to put that deal together?
Oh my God.
$300 million.
That's when she retires.
So props to Adrienne Arsh. I was reading that she was the 11th woman admitted to the Delaware bar following her mother, who was 5th. She moves to Miami in 2007 to run Trust Bank.
Can we just talk about how good she looks also?
She's
I
awesome.
mean, like, gorge.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's pretty cool.
Looking good, Adrienne.
Really excited for Ashley. Moving along, since we're talking about the most expensive listing in Miami, we'd want to talk about one of the most expensive listings in the country.
This one is amazing.
This one is amazing.
Yes.
So it's a house that's going for auction.
Yep.
Starting price, $295 million.
So cheap.
In order to bid on the property, you have to put down a deposit of $250K.
I have also put a deposit down on this one, in case you were wondering.
So it's called the One Bel Air.
Yep.
This mansion.
Wait, I'm sorry. The one.
The one.
Bel Air.
The one. Like
it
Neo.
Is the one.
It's
Neo.
Neo.
Yeah.
It's Neo from The Matrix.
Yep.
And it really is. Check this out. The mansion is 105,000 square feet. Oh, sits on 4 acres. 21 bedrooms, 42 baths. 2-story library, nightclub, 5 pools, spa, 10,000 square foot sky deck, jogging track, bowling alley, gym, tennis court, juice bar, 40-seat movie theater, hair salon, a guest home, staff quarters, 30-car garage.
Wow, the list goes on.
And a $10,000 bottle wine cellar.
Did you hear that there was a nightclub in that mix? Because what?
They say the home is basically a small town and you'll never have to leave. So what if I told you that the company that built it, Crest Lloyd Properties, filed for bankruptcy?
I'd say that sounds exactly right.
They probably lost their ass trying to build this house.
How much did it cost to build it?
I don't have that number, but they say the house was worth at least $325 million.
Right.
So,
and it's on the market for the bargain of $295.
Yeah.
So there you go.
They had it on the market for $500 million and nothing happened.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty cool house. We'll see what happens with that
hopefully
one.
the $295 price tag is going to move the needle for them. That'd be great.
So that's some of the fun stuff, guys.
Keep you posted on that.
Now to get into some of the heavy stuff. I have been contemplating, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast was to kind of pull the curtain back on some of the stuff that we have to do as agents. Like I said before, relationships that have to be made, some kissing that has to happen. Ass kicking.
I kick a lot
wish.
of ass. Yeah.
I wish.
Never.
So I never got a chance to talk on any of my social media about the Champlain Towers travesty. And the reason why I want to bring this up is how it kind of fits in with a lot of, to me, shady shit that's going on, specifically in Miami Beach.
Okay.
So the Surfside condominium collapse happened on the evening of June 21st, early morning. The building collapsed. So they're saying that over the years, based back into the 2017, they had already saying that the building had issues. There was corrosion. There was all these things, mismanagement. It happens with associations all the time.
Yep.
No one wants to spend money.
Yep.
They said it was going to be $15 million to fix the whole thing. The next thing you know, one of the biggest travesties in the history of development happens, and the building falls and crumbles overnight, and 100 people die. What was interesting, what I was reading here, was that the project was the first new construction in Surfside following a moratorium on new development imposed by Dade County due to water and sewer infrastructure problems in Surfside in the 70s. So not until 1979 do developers pay $200,000 to fund a replacement of the sewer system. The developers got to pay to fix something, and who knows who was overseeing this, so that they can start building.
Yep.
And then the building neglect is just, it's incredible.
Yeah, it smells bad.
It
smells really bad.
What really aggravates me is that the narrative now is that all of our waterfront construction is due to collapse. So now we're in situations where we're seeing the DeVille Hotel now has to be demoed. I'm not saying it doesn't have to be demoed.
Right.
This guy apparently has a history, the Marullo family. I've been asking around. Apparently, shady shit in Fisher Island. Like he's just, and other properties that he's left abandoned. The problem is, Amy, and this is where maybe you can chime in here, it's becoming more profitable to destroy and develop.
Yeah. I mean, so much change going on in Miami's landscape, right? Like, I remember as a kid, because I grew up here, Koki grew up here, I remember as a kid when we would go down to the beach, and it was sort of this resurrection of Art Deco. And it was such a cool time. All these hotels that had been brought back to life, everything was pink and teal, and you would drive, I remember you would drive up and down Collins, and it was a really special place. And unfortunately, those days, I mean, I'm old now, so, you can imagine what's happened in the last 45 years. Oh my God, I just said how old I was. It's so scary. We'll edit that out, jeez. Anyway, so I guess what I'm trying to get at here is that was Miami Beach was a really special place. Now, and I get what Koki's saying, I feel like when I drive up and down Miami Beach, it feels a little old and decayed and uncared for. And I guess what you're getting at here is are we intentionally doing these things so developers can get in and build condos?
One of the main things that they mentioned in the New York Times article was that they said that the building has to be demolished because it's been neglected, and they have to avoid what happened in Champagne Towers before storm season of 2022. So they're going to knock down this hotel that's got history that dates back to old presidents, John F. Kennedy, the Beatles, first performance in the United States in this hotel. This is things that need to be preserved. Like, think of what happens if you go into New Orleans French Quarters and none of that's there.
Right.
But that's what's happening to South Beach.
I mean, I get it, but remember, it's not like Sid Caesar at the Fontainebleau anymore. Look at the Fontainebleau. It's a hotel condo that is now it's turned into something that. Are you happy with what the Fontainebleau is? Are you happy with that?
I think some of the things architecturally have been preserved. I think there's still a regalness about it. It holds a strong place in my heart. It's like the glory 1970s Miami Beach whole thing. So I dig it, and I'm glad it's still there. I mean, what do you want it to do? You want turn it into something else?
I mean, no. I'm just saying. I think there's.
You can't have Tropicala in the lobby anymore. It's got to be Live. No one's going to Tropicala.
I mean, I'm not going to Live, but whatever. I think there is a happy medium here. I think that there is room for both. Now, certainly, the last thing we need on Miami Beach is more condos, but I think that if we're looking at the decrepit old buildings and they're not being cared for, and if it's because it's a deal between the politicians and the developers, then is that a problem? It's a problem. But I don't think that we're ever going to be saying to ourselves oh, please don't build any more condos, because that's not who we are. Of course
not. No, I want new product to sell my customers too, but I can't help but thinking everyone's on the fucking take.
Well, no,
I'm serious.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to Miami,
this thing to me is a travesty, but going back to something that had happened earlier in the year. So there was a 2 a.m. vote, a drinking cutoff. And this, people, they see this headline and they don't think anything more than, oh, well, it's going to affect some businesses. It's going to affect the overall landscape of Miami Beach as we know it. So what happened was there was a leaked audio of Mayor Dan Gilbert talking to developers, asking, what is it can I do to help you?
Right.
Asking them to help redevelop South Beach. And they came up with the idea of a 2 a.m. ban. So therefore, they put it on a ballot on an off-year election. 7,000 people vote, and now there's a 2 a.m. ban. They literally stole South Beach from everyone while they were sleeping.
Oh my God.
That to me is a travesty. So what's going to happen is these property owners are not going to be able to pay their taxes. They're not going to be able to run their business. They're going to have to get out of it. There'll be no highest and best use for these low-impact small buildings.
Yep.
They're going to sell it to developers, and they're going to redevelop, because if they can knock down this hotel and they can do all the shit they've been getting away with,
Yep.
that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
We're going to lose the entertainment district of South Beach. The very soul of it is being sucked out of it.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, listen, I don't know what the answer is to this. Are we just going to like eradicate politics? I mean, politics and real estate have been going together like peanut butter and jelly forever. So, I mean, I don't, I feel you. It's sad, but also I can't think.
It's just a joke. And then now they're trying to figure out who's going to be exempted. So basically anyone that voted for Dan Gelber is going to be exempted. So you've got the Grutmans, you've got the big
Yep.
chain hotels. All those people are not going to have this. The Good Time Hotel sits right in the area where this ban is supposed to be put in, right in the 5th to 17th entertainment district.
Yep.
And I don't want to shut down Dave Grutman. I think he's the jam. I think everyone in South Beach should be able to run their business. They should just put more code enforcing into the people who are running their businesses incorrectly, more police in the street. The last two big things that happen in South Beach did not happen after 2 a.m. They happen in broad daylight. Murders and drug dealers. Like, that's not gonna get corrected by a 2 a.m. ban, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think South Beach could use a cleanup, so I'm not like totally on board with what you're saying there. But I agree that those two incidents that you're speaking of, those two isolated crime incidents on Miami Beach, those did happen during the day. I just think there is something to look at there, like under a closer microscope about in terms of how nightlife impacts crime on Miami Beach, because this is not a new problem.
If everyone's inside a club from 2 to 5, then they're not out in the streets causing trouble. If they get kicked out of the club at 2 a.m., they're going to be pissed at the night's over.
Maybe they're causing
early.
trouble after 5 a.m., between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m.
I can make an argument that it could be worse, and a lot of these businesses are going to suffer. So,
Well,
right.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'll leave it at that, and then that'll transition to the last of this meaty topic, which is in the development world, is what's happening at Grove Isle.
Okay.
I haven't been able to speak my mind on this, and it really drives me crazy. As a child, I used to go play tennis at Grove Isle.
Love it.
And it's such a beautiful place. That club was awesome.
Yep.
Could it have used a little bit of a spruce up? Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
kind of like the contemporary at Disney. Like it just really looked
yeah.
70s.
But at the same time, think about all the people who bought in Building 3 facing north. Holy crap.
It's a travesty. It is a travesty. I mean, I think you need to further explain a little bit more about what we're
what's
talking
happening
about
is
here.
since I guess 2015 they had announced, because they were already working behind the scenes, that they were going to take the club at Grove Isle, which sits at the northern tip, they were going to demo it, and they were going to put in a new building. The building wraps around the entire island, basically killing the view of anyone who's facing north up until about the 9th floor, because they're going to do double ceilings. The property was tied up with some Mexican developers. Hugo Colombo just got in, and by the way, Hugo Colombo's a great builder.
Really great.
And I'd love to see this building just.
Yep. It looks amazing. I mean,
But
it looks
not
amazing.
in Grove Isle. It looks out of place.
It does. It's going to be out of place.
So they're going to be selling condos that are probably going to start on the $3 or $4 million range. And sure, maybe property values will go up, but think about if you bought facing north, you had that beautiful view overlooking the club, and now it's going to be dark. You're going to have to sit through 5 years of construction. You're going to have no view, no breeze. Like, that kills your property value.
Tower 3 is effed. Sorry, I said it, but they are. They're totally effed. It sucks. It's good for the island in a lot of ways. For everybody that's there that's not in Tower 3, I think it's a good thing in terms of there's going to be new amenities. They're putting a lot of money into the island to make sure that it can service these new high clientele customers. I mean, I feel like the people who live at Grove Isle have been spoiled for a really long time. They have some of the largest units, some of the most beautiful views in all of Miami, and most of them are sitting on a really, really good investment as far as I'm concerned. However,
Sure.
Tower 3, if you had a luxury unit on one of the lower floors, your property value just went into the toilet and got flushed.
Yep.
Like, it is gone. So, I mean, it sucks. That really sucks.
Grove Isle has been the highest performing condo building since the pandemic. There's been more sales in I say Park Grove?
No, I don't know.
Well,
anyway, Grove Isle is what we meant.
So Grove Isle has been the highest performing condo building, all 3 towers, since the pandemic. Been more sales there than ever. And Amy, I don't know where else you're gonna get a 2,600 square foot waterfront unit in Coconut Grove for under $2 million.
Amazing. Grove Isle all day, every day.
You just got to be
move
careful.
there in a heartbeat.
You got to talk to someone who knows what's happening with that land.
Exactly.
There's a little tip on the northern, eastern side that you can still see over, but that can all change. A developer can change plans, so it's so funny. Now, when I'm looking at any waterfront view, someone says, "Oh, they'll never take my view away," and I'm like, "Don't even say that. They're gonna build an island right in front of your condo.
Don't jinx
and they're gonna crush your view." It's just, to me, it's heartbreaking. I think about what happened with the SLS in Brickell. They had the Infinity there. It had some of the best views.
Yep.
And man, it is right in front of the building. Everyone who had waterfront views is facing a building. That's heartbreaking.
Are you talking about Flatiron?
Talking about Infinity and SLS Brickell.
Yeah. Totally.
It looks like they were built at the same time, like
yes.
the Twin Towers. Horrible.
It's sad.
So my heart goes out to the people.
I think this is a cautionary tale. It is. In the end, it's a cautionary tale.
Yeah, but still, we're up on Grove Isle. We're all about it. Couple things, and we'll get out of here. First off, Amy, I don't know if you saw this, but Miami's aggressive peacocks to be relocated after residents complain.
This may very well be one of my very favorite headlines I've ever read. Miami's aggressive peacocks to be relocated after residents complain. If there is nothing more Coconut Grove than that.
But you have a specific take on this.
I do.
Before you start, this is a quote from a resident. "I don't want to remain forgotten in a filthy, dirty peacock land as hostage to a group of birds."
Did I write that?
You should have.
That's how I feel.
What's your take?
Oh, I hope I don't go down for this, but I
Careful.
hope on the day that this whatever legislation needs to happen to remove peacocks, I hope they hand all of the homeowners in Coconut Grove a BB gun and they just go.
Jesus.
But I mean, I hate them, guys.
They said that
I
they
do.
have to
I
remove
hate
them safely, but where are they going to put them?
Am I gonna? What's the animal rights place? Are they gonna call me
PETA?
after this? PETA. Sorry, PETA. I won't really do that, but they poop all over everything. They are so loud and they're disgusting and filthy and they are ruining our property value.
They're so beautiful.
I mean, this one. Mm-hmm. It's pretty. I like them as a painting. I think they look good in art.
Ken Russell said, he was one of the major people that were behind this. He said, "Oh, don't worry. We'll still have the identity of the peacock as Grove people." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I buy that, and I'm with you.
I've never had an interaction.
Ken Russell, on your team.
I've never had an interaction with a peacock. I find them to be great birds, but I hear that they peck cars, they poop, and they make noise.
That's because you live in a condo.
I live in a condo.
Yeah. So
There's no peacocks on Edgewater Drive.
no. Well, they might be, but just not on the 12th floor or whatever, right?
All right, well, whatever. Just do it humanely and let me know where they're going. I'd be curious to know where they're putting all these.
I'm going to
freaking
dump them all
peacocks.
at your building at Edgewater, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. So, closing, I have a restaurant review. But before I get into it, what's the best place you've eaten lately?
Ooh, put me on the spot. Where have I eaten lately? Gosh, I mean,
new place.
A new place that I've been to. I'm trying to think, where have I been? Oh, you know what was really good? What do you call it? B Bakery?
B Bistro.
B Bistro? Sorry.
Yeah.
B Bistro. That was so good. It was surprising because I had really low expectations. I was like, oh, this has been so many things. Like, how could it possibly? They're crushing it. The food is so good. They have a really creative menu that I feel like you could eat there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and like 3 times a day and not be bored of it. So I'm pretty pumped with that. And their coffees are baller.
Woo! I had a pretty awesome salmon there the other day. I was very happy with it. But I got to talk to you about Sexy Fish.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you've been to Sexy Fish.
Neither can I.
I mean,
went for
are you?
Valentine's.
Are you that person?
I wasn't planning on going. I didn't know much about it. You know, we had put it out on social media and I knew what was happening and people were really excited about it. And then I got the reservation for Valentine's Day. Normally I don't like to go out on Valentine's Day because it's amateur hour. Sure enough, every girl was facing the right side of the restaurant, every guy was facing the bad side, and it was that kind of environment.
Right.
But holy crap, this place was stimulation overload. They had the most amazing decor, giant marlins, giant octopuses. The bathroom was all like lit blue like you were underwater. The food dishes, big clamshell, everything was just over the top. It was spectacular.
The food was
The
good?
food was good too. The only thing is that I can't, like, they party there apparently like after 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So
What do you mean?
I can't do that. I'm too old.
I mean, yeah.
10:30, I'm out. So apparently after 10:30, it turns into a club. Honestly, it was super, super cool. I won't be hanging out there, but I'll go back a couple times a year. Definitely go with a group of people.
I feel like you can say I've been to Sexy Fish, which is kind of
Kind
sexy.
of cool.
That is
You know what's really funny is they had this little fish that holds the chopsticks. And my sister, hold on a second, I gotta clear my throat. So one of the funny things when we were at dinner was that they have these little ornaments, cute little goldfish that holds your chopsticks.
Yeah. What kind of fish is it? Like a koi?
It's a goldfish. We'll put a picture on the B-roll. So it's a little goldfish, kind of heavy, holds your chopsticks.
Yeah.
My sister has a fish collection, like little fishes, little ornaments of fish.
Really?
She's obsessed with fish.
Okay.
So I was like, I gotta take this for her.
All right.
So my girlfriend.
Wait, you stole the fish?
So I grabbed 2 of them because I wanted to keep one for
this
me.
is so embarrassing.
And she's like, I can't believe you're doing this, whatever. So she wouldn't let me put it in her purse. So I put it in my pocket. So when I get back to the office the next day, I put one on Nadia's desk right here, and I give her the address of who to send it to. And when she takes the fish, she looks under it, and it says, stolen from Sexy Fish Miami.
No! Busted!
Yep.
That is amazing!
Yeah,
I want to see
they
that
they
fish.
thought of everything. I'm gonna show you with B-roll, but yeah, they thought of everything at that restaurant.
That's
highly
hilarious.
recommended. Okay, so that is the My Block podcast beta test.
Good to be
Amy,
here. Thank you for
Thank you so
having
much
me.
for bringing the juice.
I had a good time.
Really appreciate it. You guys enjoy the Coconut Grove Arts Festival. All right, we'll see you out there. Do you have anything else you want to add before we close?
Come buy some real estate. That'd be great.
Thanks for passing by. My Block.